Well, the country Liberals senator for the Northern Territory, therefore the coalition senator for the Northern Territory, is Sam McMahon. She joins me live now via Skype from Alice Springs. Thanks for joining us, Senator. Very keen
no worries, Chris. Thanks for having me on.
Very keen to get your thoughts directly about the challenge for you in pre-selection. Jacinta Price, well known to our viewers, who ran for the seat of Lingiari at the last federal election, is going to have a crack at your Senate spot. Why would she not be a better senator for the Northern Territory than yourself?
Well, Chris, I think my record speaks for itself in the achievements that I've got for the Northern Territory. Over the last 2 years, I think I've brought an enormous amount to the Territory. I have that 2.5 years experience under my belt. It'll be 3 years by the time of the election. I can't see why you would want to replace an experienced senator who's in there getting the job done for Territorians. It just doesn't make sense to me. I'm sorry.
Well, you'd know Jacinta Price pretty well. You'd see the contributions she's been making to public debate around this country. Do you think if she gets into federal politics, she would be a front bench contender, a potential minister?
Look, Chris, that's not for me to speculate on. I think what I will say is that Jacinta is a wonderful advocate and spokeswoman for Indigenous issues, and I hope she continues to do that.
Well, you could clear the way for her to do that if you really wanted to see her be a national advocate for Indigenous issues from the Territory?
Well, that's not an option, Chris. I have no intention of going anywhere. I intend to keep doing my job and fighting for Territorians.
It's a difficult situation, isn't it? You're the sitting coalition senator. Are you going to be challenged by another person? Of course, the coalition thrives on competition and opportunity, so presumably you've got no problem with having to fight this pre-selection battle?
No, Chris, I have no problem at all. I mean, it's the cornerstone of a liberal democracy, isn't it, that anyone can put their hand up and seek pre-selection for their party. So I fully welcome challenges, and there's more than likely going to be more than one. And that's absolutely the cornerstone by which we operate.
Thanks for joining us, Senator. I appreciate it.
Thanks, Chris.
Well, Alice Springs is geographically the centre of the country. We're making it the political centre of the country tonight because Jacinta Price is also in the Alice, and she joins us via Skype as well now. Jacinta, you would have heard what the senator had to say there. Do you think that you would be a ministerial contender in a way that the Senator Sam McMahon is not?
Yeah, look, I'd certainly work hard enough to become that, because I think it's important for a representative, particularly from the Northern Territory, to push themselves to such positions where they can make such, influence Canberra, influence the decisions that are made on behalf of Territorians and the rest of the country as well. And just a correction, I'm in fact in Darwin, not Alice Springs at the moment.
Oh, that wrecks my little segue. My notes are wrong. So you're in Darwin now. The idea, though, that we're getting that a lot of the Nats are backing the Senator Sam McMahon. A lot of the Liberals are backing you. So you've got this ugly coalition fight here. What about the argument that you should just stay where you are? That is, fight again for Lingiari. You ran a good campaign last time. Maybe this time you could grab Lingiari and you'll have two coalition MPs from the Territory.
Look, to be honest, there isn't necessarily a stoush going on between the Nationals and the Liberals, and I have had support from the Nationals, from the Liberals, and I certainly have respect from, current members throughout both sides of the coalition, and right across the country as well. So I don't actually think there is a stoush there. It has been brought up recently by the Senator, her concern, the possibility that whoever gets this position, and there are others also who have nominated for the Senate seat as to where they might sit in the party room. And as I've always said, that's a Country Liberal Party decision, because we are, as the Country Liberal Party, our standalone party, and we contribute and we fight on behalf of the Territory and those from the Northern Territory. So, yeah, look, Seriously, there is no stoush as far as I'm concerned. And
well, there's certainly a competition, though. There's a competition here. Now, you rail against identity politics, and rightly so, but is a trump card for you the fact that you would be an Indigenous woman representing the coalition in the Territory?
Oh, look, I think that's an important element, and it's an important element because of the fact that there are racial matters that are argued, particularly in the Senate, and this is something I certainly rail against. When you've got a senator like Senator Lydia Thorpe, who's continuously pointing out the colour of her colleagues' skin in Parliament and using that and weaponising that against them, I think there has to be somebody strong to be able to push back on that. And I have been told by MPs, whether federally or state MPs who aren't Indigenous, that they find it difficult to push back against issues like that they find it difficult to advocate for issues regarding Indigenous Australians, because they're often shot down because of the colour of their skin and told they're racist for attempting to advocate on behalf of Indigenous Australians. And given there is, there are those with that difficulty, I know that I can certainly bring that fight to the table, and that's something that I'm continually attempting to deal with. As someone, of course, of mixed heritage, both Indigenous and non-Indigenous, a product of reconciliation.
Indeed. Now, let me just finish up on one other topic. You and I and a few others have had a secret for a long while about an Archibald Prize entry. Our good friend Johannes Leek painted a beautiful portrait of you specifically for the Archibald Prize. A lot of people were understandably surprised that this wasn't hung. It didn't make the finals list. Jacinta, what are your thoughts on that? Why would this magnificent portrait not have been among the finalists at the New South Wales Art Gallery?
Well, come on. I think we all know why. It shouldn't be a surprise. That it certainly wasn't a surprise to myself and Johannes. It was an absolute honour to be able to sit for Johannes and for what we stand for in attempting to address very difficult issues for marginalised Indigenous Australians. I don't fit the left's racial stereotype of the victimised Indigenous woman, so therefore, it is really no surprise that it didn't make the Archibald, but it's made a statement regardless, and that's what's important to ensure that those issues remain at the forefront. And
it's a great painting, just a wonderful, evocative painting of a strong woman. I really love it. So thanks for joining us, Jacinta. I appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks for having me, Chris.
OK, Senator Sam McMahon, she had her say. Jacinta Price, you know that we love her here on this program, and I really want to see Jacinta Price in the federal parliament. But they both had their say. They'll have their battle. Yeah, that's the way democracy works. And the people of the Country Liberal Party in the Northern Territory will decide. But obviously, Jacinta's voice would be a great one to have in the federal parliament.